about the camera that just doesn't translate. You get color gets lost from your face. I swear we gain about 10 pounds, but the good news is it's not your imagination. That is actually the case. And that's why I have brought a big hitter and someone who I have worked with privately to really help me up level on camera and also on stage. And I'm talking about the gorgeous Phoebe Dawson. Phoebe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here.
Oh, my total pleasure. And guys, for those of you who don't know me, hey, I'm Tanya Target Camacho. I'm a former investigative news journalist turned video speaking and media strategist. But let's just jump right in. So, Phoebe, you have worked with some amazing celebrities, and we're going to touch on that in a minute. But can you tell me first off, and hey, Diana, how are you? Awesome to have you here joining us. Can you tell us straight off, Phoebe, what is it? Like, why do we look heavier, older, more wrinkly, not as vibrant on camera? Is it our imagination, or is there something going on?
Well, yeah, I think the camera really reads everything. And now the cameras are just getting better and better and better. So it's amplifying things. And then also the lighting is huge. Lighting is everything on camera. So I have a ring light behind my setup here, and you probably have some kind of lighting over there too. And
yeah.
3-point lighting. Yeah. So then that kind of blows everything out. So if both of us had no makeup on right now, even though in person we might look really good and beautiful and healthy, on camera we're probably going to look sick and tired. So you really need to kind of add more. And then with gaining weight, you just like looking bigger on camera. I don't know how that works, but just for some reason you do look bigger on camera, and it just kind of blows things up. So you just have to be careful what you wear, and kind of it's great to go on camera, check, see how it looks, and you might have to go back and change. Or that's why when you see wardrobe stylists, they're always pinning the outfit so it's very tight, because if it looks bigger, then you're going to look bigger as well.
Yeah, and I think there's something too, because you and I have hung out a little bit. You've done some training for some of my video students and speaking students, and there's something about the camera as well that flattens the face, and so that's where highlighting comes into play. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, yeah. So it flattens the face. It kind of takes out the color in your skin and just kind of makes you look washed out. And I think that's the lighting too. So then you really have to lighting plays into it as well, where they'll light the scene and make it more dramatic. And that's why we both need extra lighting as well to help us. And then you need to add makeup and have an interesting outfit on as well, and have shading. So contouring's important, highlights important, and then adding blush and lip gloss. And even sometimes when you do it pretty natural, you have to look on camera and then add more a lot of the time.
Yeah, just listening to you talk through all that stuff, it feels like a lot. But what I want you guys to know is that when I started working with Phoebe last year, I think it was midway through last year, it takes me the exact amount of time, the exact same amount of time to be camera ready as it does to do what I was doing before, except I'd like to think I'd look a lot better. So it's not like it's going to take a lot of time. It's that there's different products, different applications. So Phoebe, what do we need to consider and factor in when applying makeup? Now, you mentioned the lights, how it blows you out, and that some of the dimension is lost. Are all foundations created equally when it comes to getting video and camera ready? And hey, Lani, how are you? Awesome to have you join us. Aloha to you too.
Yeah, so with foundations, you can have your everyday foundation, or maybe you have really great skin and you don't need to wear foundation every day. But for on camera, it definitely is different. And now they have special HD foundations. They have foundations that kind of blur your wrinkles and fine lines, and they have special technology in the foundations that goes with these cameras. So it's kind of like how you have your Instagram filters that kind of smooth everything out. You can do that with the foundations too. And then in general, if you have more shiny, oily skin, you want more of a mattifying foundation on camera. But in person, you may love like a moisturizing tinted moisturizer, which would look really healthy, but on camera you might look like a disco ball or greasy.
Disco ball. And I know sometimes when you're thinking, oh, I need a different foundation for this and for this, but it's actually, when you know what to get, it's really inexpensive. And I love how it'll
last you a long time too, because it's not like you're using it every day.
Yeah, and Phoebe, you mentioned how you can have foundations that smooth out those wrinkles, and Lani earlier was commenting in our post when we were promoting having you on, and she was saying, it's really hard to multi-stream because you might have an amazing filter on Zoom and an amazing filter on Snapchat, and then you come on StreamYard and there's no filter whatsoever.
Yeah.
But having that foundation that smooths through those wrinkles and creases can help. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because then those foundations will kind of give you that filter, and then you can have your powder. And once you have your little kit that you can make for on camera, you can have your good foundation, you can have some contour and some powder and different basic things. And then that can be your little bag for whenever you go on camera, and then you'll always look good even when there's not a filter. And having good lighting. Good lighting is everything as well.
And what's your favorite on camera foundation?
I have a few, but I really like the MAC Studio Fix. That one's really good, and it lasts a really long time. And then I really like the Makeup Forever HD foundation. And then I also like foundations by Tarte Cosmetics as well.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I'm wearing right now, if anyone's interested, I'm wearing the MAC HD that Phoebe put me onto, and I was really impressed because I've really sensitive skin, and Diana's saying she's not a big makeup girl naturally. I'm not a big makeup girl either. I'm a tomboy. I'm from Australia. I like to surf, and so I don't like feeling like I have anything on. And what really surprised me is I think something changed with the MAC formula, and it seems to be much lighter. I mean, if I'm going to, even though it's an on-camera foundation, it's so beautiful. I will actually wear it when I'm going out, like if I'm going to a party or a nice lunch, and I want to look good for as long as possible all day.
Yes.
So and for those of you that I have very strong red pigments under my skin, for those of you that might have that problem, it's really good for covering that too.
Yeah, it really has a full coverage, and I have MAC on right now as well, and it really doesn't feel like you have heavy makeup or heavy foundation on. And it's the application too, like you don't have to put on a lot of makeup. But then when you go out for your dinner and you take pictures, then your skin just looks really nice and flawless, and you don't have any redness coming through, which is nice as well.
And what would you say when it because it's it's kind of like a house, right? You've got to get those foundations right. When it comes to putting foundation on there's every day, but we're talking specifically here about video. What would be some of the common mistakes that people make when they're putting their foundation on? Because of course, makeup on camera is for boys too, isn't it?
Yes. So when you guys see, if you see in a film or on red carpet or actors, or even when you see musicians in music videos or anywhere, even on stage, they always have makeup on. They always have powder on. The dancer is everything. Because even for a guy, you still have uneven skin tone. You may have dark under eyes or some acne or different things. So even for guys, it's always great to have a tinted moisturizer or some kind of tint just to even out your skin tone or make you look young and fresh on camera. And then absolutely powder is definitely, even if just guys can get one thing, powder is great because then you won't look too shiny and your skin will look good and healthy on camera.
Yes, and speaking of guys on camera, I shared coming into this interview you doing Mike Tyson's makeup. So even tough guys like Mike Tyson wear makeup.
Yes, exactly. They need it.
How was it working? Was he good to have his makeup put on?
Yes, he was so great. He had beautiful energy, and he was just like a kid. Like he was kind of dancing the whole time and had music requests and just really good positive energy, which is always nice.
I love that. I was so jealous when I saw that picture. Okay, so we've got to get the foundation right. What about some of the other applications? Like I think, for instance, a lot of things that I see, and I was guilty of this. This might be why I see it, or I saw it, I should say. Lipstick color, and what we were wearing, what you wear off camera, not necessarily works on camera. And put your hand up, guys, if you can relate to this. I had a makeup drawer full of colors I've been wearing. I had replaced the lipsticks, but I've been wearing those same shades since my early 20s. And, I'm now in just over my mid 40s, so they weren't working. So what would you say, Phoebe, are some common makeup mistakes with the color palette?
I would say, yeah, like a lot of people, they'll wear the same makeup shades that they did 20 years ago, and maybe that's out of style, which can also look outdated. So if you're trying to attract new clients or people are hiring you as an entrepreneur, if you don't look kind of current and fresh and up to date, they're going to think, where have you been the last 20 years? So that's relevant too, because we're a walking business card as well. So you want to look fresh and young and with the times. And then as well, you want to go, as we get older, a lot of women, our lips kind of get smaller or they can get more dry. So you don't want to, a matte lipstick can look really great in person, but on camera, you kind of want to be more moisturized and do like a lip gloss. And then
a dewy look.
A dewy look, yes. And then also more lighter shades. Like a lot of women will do these dark purple colors and deep browns, which can look really pretty on when you're younger or on the right skin tone. But then as you get older, sometimes those colors can make you actually look older and kind of washed out. Or they can make your teeth look yellow if it's the wrong shade. So the undertone of the lipstick can make your teeth look whiter or more yellow, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, I know when you helped me with my color palette and you had me wearing all these peaches and I looked at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can wear that. But I just borrowed a little bit of faith. And yeah, it just makes such a huge difference. So a tip to turn back that clock to look younger on camera is to go with a lighter shade of lipstick and a more of a glossy pout to have that kind of dewy, radiant look. What about eyeshadow? Because I know I get a lot of questions about ladies saying, I have hooded eyes. How do I make them look bigger? But also often you want to make your eyes pop. You want to have youthful, energetic eyes because the eyes are the heart. It's all about connection. It's a long loaded question, Phoebe. Take it.
Okay. Yes. So, and this is another thing too, where in person, maybe some mascara and like no eyeshadow could look really pretty, but on camera, your eyes are going to look naked and really tiny if you don't put eye makeup on. So you really want to put eye makeup on and actually bringing it up above the crease and kind of blending it up above the crease a little bit is going to push the crease back. Like I have hooded eyes as well. And a lot of people do, and especially as you get older, things kind of droop a little bit. So you want to bring the eyeshadow above the crease, and that kind of cheats it and lifts and like pushes the crease back, and it also makes your eyes look bigger. And then you want to extend the eyeshadow a little bit at the corners of the eyes, and then I always kind of mirror what I do on the top lid along the bottom lash line as well, which kind of opens up the eye. And I do it with eyeshadow, so it's nice and soft and youthful, and I don't do like harsh eyeliner on the bottom lash line, which some people do, and that can really close your eye as well.
I love that tip. So no eyeliner underneath, but a soft eyeshadow, and then taking it above the crease. I know that, we've worked together a couple of times. You've run some workshops for my students, and we've had a couple of private consultations, and I'll send you a photo and go, what do you think? And Phoebe's like, no, you just blend it a little bit more.
I'm like, go higher.
Go higher. And I'm doing it. And I feel like a drag queen. Not that I love drag queens, but I feel like one when I'm like, this seems to be in no man's space. Are you sure I should be putting this eyeshadow this high? But it really can make that difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the blending too. Like you want that transition. So you really want to blend with like a nice fluffy brush in the crease, so it's not a harsh line, because then that can look harsh and age you as well. So you want everything soft and blended and fresh. Yeah.
So how do you approach it? Like if you were getting someone ready for getting on camera, what would you say to them? Some must-haves and some must things that you want to think about to look your absolute best.
I would say definitely having a good foundation. You want to have blush to put some color in your face on camera. You want to have a good lip color, lip gloss. And then just have a good basic eyeshadow palette that has some nice natural tones. Mascara is everything. An eyelash curler is huge. Definitely have one of those. And then if you have very light eyebrows, to fill them in, like you can get great brow gel, which is what I use, because if I don't put anything, I have no eyebrows. So that can give just a nice fill in the eyebrows nicely.
Do you find that a lot of people make their eyebrow? I'm feeling self-conscious of my eyebrows right now. But do you find that a lot of people make their eyebrows too dark and too severe?
Yes, that's another mistake people make, is I feel like they'll do the eyebrows, they'll get highlights in their hair maybe, and then they'll do their eyebrows as dark as their roots, or they'll do the eyebrows as dark as their hair or even a little darker, and then that can make you look angry or more masculine. So you want to have the brows nicely filled in, almost like sometimes I'll go a little lighter than someone's hair, and then it just looks nice and soft, but then you have them filled in and they're framing your face.
Love that. Now, speaking of hair, I know you're a big advocate of soft waves. Tell us about that, about winding back the clock. Sorry, guys, for those of you that don't have the hair, but for those of you that do, that are fortunate enough to have it, winding back the clock, how can you look younger on camera with your hair color and your hairstyle?
I think getting your hair done or going to someone for a consultation makes such a difference, and just doing something that's the most flattering color for your face. It really makes a big difference, and that can change your undertone, what makeup you wear, and what outfits fit you as well. But also doing the loose curls, it just kind of gives you volume. It makes you look nice and put together. It puts texture in the hair. Sometimes if the hair is very flat or straight, it can look unhealthy, or like you can really see if it's uneven or if it's very flat. So having the soft curls always looks youthful and fresh.
So guys, you're joining us here live with Phoebe. If you have a question for Phoebe, please do drop it into the chat box so we can answer that for you. I'm monitoring here, so I'll get that to Phoebe.
Yes, I would love questions.
Yes. And so tell us, you went, and Lani sort of said, yes, she was told the wine colors were that maybe not the best color choices now. Are there certain rules, like once you hit a certain age? And this is always a controversial question, right? Because sometimes they say, oh, over a certain age, you should never wear red lipstick, or you should never wear jeans of this cut or whatever. What's your viewpoint? Does there become a certain age where there are just certain shades that you should never wear?
Yeah, I think there are. I think it can depend on someone's skin tone and how they age and different things like that. But in general, you kind of want to stay away from the wine and like very dark lip colors. Unless like to go out to dinner, I think that's fine. But if you're on camera, you want to keep to the more medium to light tones. Red lipstick can be great, but if you have really thin lips, it can look kind of clowny. So if you have really thin lips, you want to go with like the pinks and the blush and the peachy colors. And then if you have bigger lips, then you can rock the more bright colors. And then for blush as well, you kind of want to do more peachy, pinky tones versus like more purpley brown deep tones for blush, because that's also going to make you look more young and fresh.
Love that. And then what about the décolletage? What about the neck? How do we make that look younger?
So with the foundation, when we're putting that on the face, when I'm working with clients, I always bring it down all the way down the neck and onto the chest as well. Not a lot, but just kind of spread it out throughout the neck. Anywhere where you're going to have skin showing, you want to put the foundation down, because that's just going to kind of do the same thing. Put a filter, blur any sun damage, and cover it up. And then also you're not going to be a floating head on camera, which is very distracting.
Absolutely. We call them parrot necks in Australia.
Oh,
you're
really?
You're an Aussie Kiwi. Have you heard of that phrase before?
I haven't heard that phrase.
Parrot, because the ring neck where the foundation
and then
stops,
it's not matching.
Yeah. Lani asked a question, what's the healthiest makeup brands that you like, Phoebe? No harmful chemicals. She says she's a fan of Beauty Counter.
Okay. I don't know if you could is Beauty Counter, that's a store that has different clean brands, I think, or is that a brand?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're all about what looks really good on camera. That might be a dangerous question, Lani.
No, but I do like the Tarte Cosmetics that I mentioned. They're in Sephora. You can find them online. They have a lot of natural ingredients. They're cruelty-free. They have skincare in their foundations and concealers. There is some really good, The Body Shop, I like their makeup. But as far as eyeshadow, I do go with the more, like a lot of the really natural eyeshadows that I've tried, they just don't stay and they don't blend well and they crease a lot. So for foundation, I think you could find a good natural one. But for eyeshadow and mascara, I would go for a regular brand.
I would love for you to share. I always had a real problem with my eyes eating my eyeshadow, really oily eyelids. And you put me onto something I could put on my eyelids before I put my eyeshadow on, which can also just be worn on its own for a really natural look. But it literally makes your eyeshadow stay on all day. Can you share with us?
Yes. So when I work with clients on camera, I always do an eyeshadow base before I put on any eyeshadow. And before I do that, I put concealer on the eyelid, then I powder that, then I put an eyeshadow base. So one that I really like is by MAC. It's called the Paint Pot eyeshadow base. And that you have to work quick with it. And then once it sets, it creates a really great base. And then your eyeshadow does not crease.
Yes, it does work really. It does set really quickly too. And then, of course, something else to keep your makeup on all day. Like, I'm a big advocate of batch shooting, Phoebe. Where I kind of figure if you're going to get your hair and makeup, if you're going to do it and you're going to get dressed, you may as well record more than one video. What's your favorite thing for setting the makeup so it stays in place?
I'm a big fan of setting sprays. I know a lot of companies have primers, and I think primers are great if you're really oily, so then you can get a mattifying primer, or if you have uneven skin tone, you can get smoothing primers, and those are great, and Tarte has some really good ones as well. But I really love setting spray, and I kind of feel like it's like hairspray for your face. And it just kind of sets everything and you can get refreshing ones. If you have dry skin, you can get ones that kind of refresh your makeup, and the MAC has really good setting sprays too.
Oh, I love that. And the questions are coming in. So keep them coming, guys. This is awesome. We have, do you have any specific tips for those of us with darker skin? And I'm wondering, what is the question there? I'm sorry, I can't see whose that was, but in particular with darker skin, do you mean finding the best foundation match or making your eyes pop with different colors? If I could just get a little bit more info, that would be great. Unless Phoebe, you can understand.
Let me know what you mean specifically, and or if you want blush recommendations for deeper skin tones. But I think it just depends on your skin tone, but still the apricot blushes are gorgeous on deeper skin tones, and the more of a medium pink is really beautiful on deeper skin tones for blush and lipstick as well.
I have to say, and I have mentioned a couple of times I've had a private consultation with Phoebe, and I will be sharing Phoebe's contact details. I'm very careful about who I endorse and who I recommend. And I have to say that I don't know how you do it, Phoebe, but she can pick your foundation, your powder, your eyeshadows, your lipsticks just from photographs and being on Zoom with you. And you've nailed it literally every single time. So
thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. It really is a next level ninja skill. Lani was wondering the best tips for puffy eyes.
For puffy eyes, there's some really great eye treatments, which I've told Tanya about before. And I can drop this in the comments maybe later. I can send a link or in the group. But there's some really great under eye treatments, and they're really, really good. And you put them. Are you talking about under your eyes or on your eyelids?
I think under. I think Lani means under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll add some later. I'll send you a link. But
are you talking about the little coconut thingy?
Yes. Yeah. So there's these under eye treatments, and you pop them on under your eyes. You leave them on for 30 minutes, and they depuff and moisturize and firm and help with wrinkles and fine lines. And they're amazing. And I'll use them when people have bad under eye bags or puffiness, but they work really well.
They depuff, and I can tell you they are divine. They feel amazing. Yes. What about hemorrhoid cream under the eyes? Have you heard about that? Have you ever used?
I have had to use that one time on a presenter, and he just was so busy. I don't think he'd slept that week or something, and he just really had some serious under eye baggage. And it really did work, but I don't think I would recommend it as
a daily
something
treatment
to use often. But if you have an interview on Good Morning America and you really have serious under eye bags and you really, really need help, then yes, that could work. But the eye treatments really do work really well.
Lani was just saying and we were talking before about blending and an application. How important are the brushes, and what to get the look that that a lot of people want to have, that kind of wearing makeup but not wearing makeup look? What sort of brushes should we have in our repertoire of makeup tools, on camera makeup tools?
I would say brushes are really, really important. Like I could do a flawless makeup look with cheap makeup, with drugstore makeup or NYX makeup. But if I have really good brushes and a good sponge, it's going to look beautiful. So brushes are huge, and they're really not that expensive as people think they are. And then for an everyday person, you would need maybe like 5 to 7 brushes, and then you're good. And you have them. And if you buy good brushes, they're going to last you 10 to 15 years. And then I have this makeup sponge that I love that Tanya knows about, the Beauty Blender. And that really presses the foundation into your skin. You just have this beautiful, flawless finish, and it really helps it stay throughout the day as well. And it really gives you that kind of second skin look. So you don't have this like cakey makeup sitting on your skin.
Awesome. I love that. And then in terms of, you talked about apricots and apricot blushes before. How important is bronzer? Are you still wearing bronzer as well as the I mean, I am, so I'm hoping the question is yes. The answer is yes. Tell us about that.
Bronzer. So contouring is great. And sometimes I'll even do that on guys too, but it'll be very subtle. So you always want to have a matte bronzer and not a shimmery bronzer, and you want your bronzer to be more on the cool tone side. You don't want it to be too warm, but blending some bronzer under your cheekbones, under your chin, and around the corners of your hairline is really, really beautiful. And it also adds dimension to your face. How we were saying you look flat on camera, so you want to add some dimension and shading, and it also make you look thinner. So bronzer is great.
Awesome. And you talked a little bit about shimmer, but I'm not sure if we talked about shimmer eyeshadow. Does that age you if you're putting shimmer on your eyes?
No, so with shimmer, it's really about the placement, and you really want to place it in the right places. So if you're putting shimmer in your crease or above your crease, that is not going to be good, because that's going to exaggerate the crease. So you want to put the shimmer in the inner corners of your eyes, which is really going to open up your eyes and make you look fresh and awake and like you had a good night's sleep. And then on the center of your eyelid, you can put shimmer kind of towards the inner half of the eye, and then the outer half of the eye, you want to keep it more matte, and you want to use a dark medium tone. And then shimmer on the top of the cheekbones is great too.
I love that. I'm like reliving. I'm like, I forgot that bit today.
Here's your reminder.
Yeah, it's my reminder. What about lip liner? What about, and does that, we talked about under eye, like liner, it can be very harsh and it can age you. What about lip liner? Is that the same? And what do you think about, I'm sorry, can you tell?
Like so many questions.
There's so many questions. What about, should you draw on the outside of your lips? I see people do that, and all I can do is stare at it. What's your take on that, on both of those? On lip liner, does it age you? And should you be extending your lips far beyond where they go?
Okay, so for the first part, you don't want to go too dark with the lip liners. Kind of how I said is, especially if you have smaller lips, you kind of want to keep the lip liner. Like there's some really great nude lip liners, or like a dusty pink, or like a rose, or those are great lip liners, and then you can kind of put any color that you want on top of it. But I do like lip liner just because it gives you a nice shape, because most people have uneven lips, or they'll have it just kind of evens everything out. And then you can overline your lips a little bit, and I do that often, but I only do it in the center of the lips. So you just want to do it kind of in the center of your bottom lip, and then in your Cupid's bow, you can overline a little bit, and then it'll just make your lips look bigger and kind of even out your face more on camera. So it does look really good on camera, but you don't want to do all the way around, and you don't want to do too much.
I love that. What about, oh, by the way, Lani asked, she said, where do we find the Beauty Blender sponge? So we could grab that link for you,
yes.
Lani, and we can put that in the chat.
I'll put that in. Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts about tattooed makeup?
I think really do your research. There's some amazing people out there, but you really want to research and make sure they don't overdo it, and they really have a soft hand. So there's some really great microblading the eyebrows. Some people do incredible jobs, and if you don't have much going on for your eyebrows, it can really be great, but you really want to make sure they don't go too much. Yeah, I think technology is in a much better place. So there is some really great people out there, but definitely research a lot and see pictures of their work. Make sure you really love it first.
Yeah, awesome. One of the things that we didn't cover when we were talking about eyeshadow is crow's feet, how to stop the makeup falling into the crow's feet or clagging in there and then making you look older. What's your number one tip to help with that as we get older?
Yeah, so for that, using concealer is really great. So using the concealer, the ones that I like. So the one by Tarte, it's called the Face Tape Concealer. It's amazing. It's at Sephora. And you could probably go in there and get a sample to try it out. But that one really blurs the fine lines and wrinkles and brightens. And then you want to powder over the concealer. And people, I think they're scared to powder under the eyes, but it's really important that you do that because otherwise it's going to be all creamy. And then that's when the eyeshadow kind of starts running down into that and sticking in the lines, which is not what we want.
Now, I mentioned before you work with a lot of celebrities, but I hadn't kind of rattled through them. I mean, you've been a makeup artist for films, TV shows, music videos, the red carpet, the Soul Train Awards, the Oscars, the Emmys, the Grammys. You're a makeup artist for Jennifer Lopez's tour video, Ashley Tisdale's and Oprah's interview with Mara Brock Akil as well. And I'm just kind of wondering, you know, there's a lot that people aspire to. They see these amazing celebrities, they see the red carpet, they see the finished product. Can you give us a little bit of hope, Phoebe? the before and the after, the power of the makeup is really quite incredible. Do you think that's understated or accurate?
I think that's overstated. Like, oh no, I'm majorly understated. And even you're so brave. You know, you'll see me before pictures and things like that. And most women really don't do that. And that's why I don't post before pictures of my work, because I really respect people. And most people aren't as brave as Tanya, and they don't want to be seen publicly without makeup on. And it really is a huge process, and they have all the problems that we have, and body image issues, and, you know, pimples and different things. And sometimes clients will have a bad reaction to a skin product, and their skin will be looking like, I'm like, wow, I have a lot of work to do today. Or they're wearing shapewear under their outfits and they have a spray tan on. Spray tans are great to look slimmer on camera too. They really make you lose 5 to 10 pounds on camera. So if you have a big day, you're showing your legs or your body, spray tans are great.
I'm going to come back to spray tans too. I just want to honor Diana's question. And she said here, she says, what is your thoughts on cream versus powder blush? And I'm guessing there's a couple of sub questions there. One might be, does one make you look younger? Does one last longer? Cream versus blush, powder blush.
Yes, I love cream blush. I think it's really great. It's very youthful and fresh and kind of gives you that glow. And glow is okay. It's just the placement with glow, with powder and cream. So you want the center of your face to be more matte, but the cream blush on cheeks is really, really beautiful. If you want it to last longer, a lot of the time I'll do a cream blush and then I'll set it with a powder blush on top.
That's what I've done today.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, and that works great for on camera too, and then it lasts longer. And layering different products and colors is really nice because it adds that dimension as well.
I saw recently, and I asked you about this, Phoebe, I saw someone trialing fake tan as a highlighter on their cheeks. You'd have to really be confident that you were going to get that right.
Yeah, that's a little scary. I would definitely practice that at home before wearing it in public. Yeah, but there's some great tanners out there for sure. It's just finding the right ones.
And Diana said the question is always about younger. So I think, Phoebe, what you're saying is cream blush can really make you look younger. Those cream apricots,
especially if you go for that the peachy apricot tones, they just kind of bring out all the youthful undertones in your skin, whereas if you go to cool tone, it's going to kind of bring out any veins or redness, and it's going to make you look older. So the peachy cream blush is beautiful.
What's hot at the moment, and should we care, right? I mean, I'm asking that question because at the beginning you were saying, you know, if you're wearing something you were wearing 20 years ago, you might not look very relevant, but then also you want to wear what suits you. But maybe there's a shade within what's hot right now that we can find that suits us. So what would you say to that? Should we care about what's in right now? And for those of you that do, what is hot right now in colors?
Well, I would say, yeah, those peachy tones, gold tones are beautiful. Champagne is usually universally flattering for people. And just really keeping it fresh and youthful. And it's all about the blending. So you don't want any harsh lines. Yeah, but I think the trends are always changing, but I think that fresh look is always going to stay in style. And the peachy tones too, those are really great. Those are always going to be great, but especially right now, I think they're very popular.
And just to finish off, Phoebe, what about when you get off camera and you just want to look amazing? You know, I love it when you see people and they just look effortlessly stylish. They look really, really natural, but they're wearing makeup. You just can't tell that they're wearing makeup. How would you achieve that look like on a weekend? You know, you're going somewhere and you just want to feel good about yourself, even everything out, but not look like you're about to go on stage.
Yeah, so for that look, I think you could do a really nice tinted moisturizer. Laura Mercier has a really nice tinted moisturizer. A lot of brands do now. And then that's not a full coverage, but it'll just kind of even everything out, make you look really healthy and fresh. And then you could do a cream eyeshadow. So they have really beautiful cream eyeshadows now. They kind of set and they stay nice and like light and natural. They're very pretty. Then you could do your cream blush, do a little bronzer, do some highlight, do a lip gloss and mascara, and you're good to go.
And you're good to go. I love that. Fantastic. Now, for those that would love to Phoebe-fy themselves, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so we can put my email below. So you can email me, and then we can put my Instagram, my website, and anyone can reach out to me, and you can ask me more questions in the comments if you guys want, and I can send you links to products. And yeah,
I will circle back and I'll put those in for you. But can you share those with us now for those of us who are joining us feverishly wanting to go and type?
So my email is phoebe.dawson@gmail.com. My website is phoebedawson.com. And then my Instagram is @phoebemakeup. And then my Facebook is, I think it's just Phoebe Dawson.
Awesome. Fantastic. Guys, do you have any more questions for Phoebe? I highly recommend that you connect with her. Phoebe, I always love hanging out with you, and thank you so much. You've been so generous with your time today. We'd love to have you back, of course. When we're we were going to do this last year and friggin' can I say that live? COVID hit, but I was all set to have a smoky eye makeup lesson.
I know. I can't wait to see each other in person and do something in person. But
yes,
I love talking makeup and beauty. I could do it all day. So it's so fun to be here.
And you are truly so amazing at it. You know, I've being a former investigative news journalist, and I've worked in TV before. I've worked with TV journalists, TV producers before, and TV makeup artists, and you really are brilliant at what you do. So please go and connect. Say hi to Phoebe. Check her out on Instagram. And if you're watching the replay and you have a question, guys, please leave it in here. Phoebe is part of our community, and she's super, super ridiculously supportive. So I'm sure she'll circle back and answer your questions.
Yes,
you guys,
I will.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Phoebe. And guys, you are so welcome. Lani, you're so welcome. Thank you for beautiful comments. Lana, great to see you here. You are very welcome. Diana, great to see you too. Guys, for those of you, I can see that you're watching, but you're a little bit shy. Don't be. Come on camera. It's all good.
Ask questions.
Ask questions. All right, Phoebe, thank you so much. Take care, guys. Stay safe wherever you are.
Thank you.